Hi, this is Natalie Lander, voice of Kinsey, Tara Branford, Stargirl, and many others. You are listening to a W2Mnet podcast. You can visit W2Mnet.com for other podcasts about entertainment, video games, sports, and wrestling. You are listening to Video Games to the Max.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Video Games to the Max. It's number 232 to be specific, and I'm your host, Sean Garmer, and here with me is always Mr. Marc Morrison.
Howdy.
Well, it is another week, and once again I did not, it's just one of those where I knew that I was having two back-to-back days coming up of having 12-hour work days, and also just with everything going on, I didn't feel like a Saturday show was like totally, appropriate at this point. So we're doing just this one, and then definitely with these events that are coming, we'll definitely have something on Saturday for us there, with the all these events now rescheduled that were supposed to be. I mean, we would have been. It's funny because we would have been in the middle of E3 right now. We would have already been done all the press conferences by now, and we would have been talking about stuff that was shown on the show floor. So it's kind of funny that, due to all the things that have been happening with the protests, and technically yesterday was. George Floyd was finally laid to rest, and we'll see how that stuff keeps going with the reform and everything. I also was trying to get a friend of mine, David Majors, who's has a sports podcast, and I was on his anime podcast of some sort previously, and he wanted to talk about fighting games and stuff, so I was trying to get him on, but he had some other things happen, so that was the reason why we didn't do I was trying to get him on for the Saturday show, and that kind of fell through, and I was like, all right, let's just not do anything. But, yeah, so hopefully we'll get to have him on as well to kind of talk about what he wanted to talk about, and then also, how he feels about things going on as well. And just, Mark, how have things been going for you there?
It's fine.
Yeah.
My state's opened back up, kind of, so that's nice.
Well, yeah, that's good as well. Heard you, a little birdie told me you've been buying DVDs.
Yeah, because stores are opening, like the stores I like are opening back up, so I bought a bunch of really dumb shit, games and DVDs.
So I know you bought the Clubhouse Games.
Yep. I had to go to 3 different Walmarts to pick it up.
Really?
Yeah.
You were that intent on getting it physically?
I was that intent and getting it for sale.
Oh, well, yeah, for the $10, right?
No, it wasn't 10, it was like 8. I think it was like $32 or $33 instead of $40, but still, why not?
Right.
Yeah, that thing's weird, because I don't know a third of the games, if not half. Like,
Does it do a good job of showing you how to play the games, or?
Nah, kinda. I mean, there's like a really, almost kind of smarmy intro for a lot of games. Yeah, I don't like that at all. Some of them are okay, but yeah, I mean, some games are good, some aren't quite as good, let's say. The thing does a really bad job of recognizing what controller you have.
Oh, like it doesn't.
Well, I'm primarily using a Switch Pro controller, like playing on my TV dock, and I think I selected maybe bowling, or no, it wasn't bowling. I think it might have been boxing. Or, no, actually, no, sorry, it was darts. And I hit select, and it was like, oh, you need to play this docked, or you need to play this undocked, or you need to have use your Switch controllers, like the Joy-Cons. And I'm like, why? I guess it was motion control, but the Switch Pro controller does that.
Yeah, that's weird.
And then,
yeah, you can do it with the Pro controller.
And then, let's say that you need the Switch Joy-Cons. Why? And it knows I'm using a Switch Pro controller. Why is that an option? Like, why can't the game just be grayed out? and say, hey, if you're playing, or if you want to play these games, you need to actually use motion controls or the Joy-Cons. Like, I imagine, I think, bowling is probably like that. Fishing, I know, is like that. Darts is. I think, 2 or 3 other games at least. It's like, why not you just blank it out? Like, I played, 2-player with a friend. Like, we just played, Connect 4, or what they call, they don't call it Connect 4, they call it, some weird generic name, because they couldn't license Connect 4.
Connect 4's licensed, too.
But, that lets you just kind of, use the touch screen to just do whatever. It pops up saying, hey, you can do whatever, use whatever controller you want. I'm like, why not? Or, I couldn't even get out of the game. I had to, reset my Switch, because it was just stuck on the Joy-Con select screen. And I could not get out of it. I couldn't even back out of the damn game. I'm like, what's this? What's the deal?
Yeah, that looks like it wasn't designed very, it shouldn't take much UI work to get it to where it tells you, oh, this game cannot be played.
Well, I bring up that Connect 4 thing because I was playing with a friend, I just had the one Switch. And, when you go into 2-player mode, it goes, do you want to play with Joy-Cons or just a touchscreen? And then certain games are blocked out. Or it's, like Dominoes, you need 2 Switches to play. And it's yeah, that's fine. That's okay. But it's you literally cannot select it. So it's why can't you do this for motion-controlled games when you're using a Switch Pro controller? What's the deal?
Yeah, or have a little sign underneath.
Yeah, or have better notifications saying, hey, you need this, or your controller's compatible or not.
Doesn't it take you to that little screen where you have to select the controller or whatever?
That's what I got stuck on.
Okay.
It would not let me back out of that thing until I unhooked the controller, buttoned out of the menu, and then I could go back to the game select menu. It's this is bananas. Why can't I just, if I can't advance, that's fine. Let me go back at least, to the main menu. I couldn't even get to the Switch menu.
That's weird, because when that happens, if I have been playing on the Switch undocked and then I go and play with the controller, all it does is tell me, okay, click the buttons to tell it that you're playing with the Pro controller. Yeah,
it would not let me do that. And I was like, okay, I guess. I played some games. Poker is okay. Blackjack's what you'd expect. Solitaire is fine. There's a game called Lido, or Lido. I think it's Lido. I guess it's some European game. I used to play it as a kid, but I played a different variation. It's basically Sorry, but I played a variation called Aggravation, which had slightly different rules. What else? There's this really weird. Remember Hexic HD or Hexic on the 360?
Yes, I do remember that. Yeah.
There's a game like that on this thing where you have to match up 6 colored jewels together, and you can form patterns in the jewels, and it's weirdly almost like Tetris almost, because they're attacking other players. What else? Yeah, it has 51 games, and it has a few little it has a piano mini game as well. That's not a game per se, but that's just something to do. I haven't played all of them, and I'm never going to play Mahjong. Sorry.
You don't want to learn how to play Mahjong?
This thing would be very bad teaching you that, I think. Unless you just want to start buttoning through menus. I can kind of play Mahjong Solitaire a little, because I play a lot of hidden adventure games, or hidden object games, and that's what they, one of the things they have in those somewhat, but I picked that up at least.
Well, that was kind of the big release of last week.
Well, every game also has little, milestones or tasks for you to complete, complete Solitaire in under 5 minutes, or complete, get number 1 ranking on poker and normal AI, and then hard AI, and then impossible AI, stuff like that. I think it unlocks different, the game has this idea of people you can talk to that have different game masteries or something. So you unlock more people, and then you can unlock different. Some games have optional card backs, or different visual modes.
Hey, at least there's plenty for you to do there.
Yeah, I don't play. This is a good thing for me, since I don't really play board games with people, because people aren't around. And it's better than that stupid tabletop simulator on Steam, because it actually has AI.
Yes, that's true too.
What else? I bought Concrete Genie.
Oh, okay. Did you get to play it at all?
I played like an hour or two. I got out of the the first area, like the lighthouse, and I got to the town. And then I kind of got stuck because it is kind of a weird... I don't think the map is great, and then it doesn't really tell you where to go. Like, I'm just avoiding these asshole kids, and I'm not quite sure what to do next. But I think it looks really nice. I mean, it looks pretty. And
yeah, that's what I got out of it, was it looked nice.
And I immediately turned off the motion control, like the first time they suggested it. I'm like, yeah, thank you. I just don't like, I have very limited space in my room, and then I just don't like motion controls in games, not necessarily. So I'd rather, use the R analog stick and just paint that way.
Yeah, but I can kind of get why you'd want motion controls for that game, though. It makes it feel kind of more like you're really painting.
Yeah, but then, I have such limited space that I'm kind of hunched over, my table or my, right in front of the TV, and I just don't have a lot of room to paint around or do anything like that.
Fair enough.
Yeah. We can talk about Xenoblade, or I can talk about Castlevania.
Okay. Well, I mean, how's your Xenoblade journey been going?
I played another hour or two. I did some more side quests. I haven't explored the main quest at all. I did some a few side quests, which are usually brain dead easy, just delivering crap or usually just that.
Yeah, the side quests are not anything crazy. Most of them involve kill this many monsters, find this thing, take it back. I do like that most of them do not involve having to go back to the original quest giver, because god, that'd be a pain in the ass.
If they did that, I probably wouldn't. I'd put the game down. Or if it was completed the quest, now run back to this person and get your reward. Nope. Sorry.
Some of them are like that, and especially later on you get in the game,
I assume those would probably be more detailed or have more going on.
I literally went through one in the Satoral Marsh that was I had to go back to the Nopon 5 different times, and I was just oh my god, why? I get it that it's kind of in sequence, but...
Yeah, I was going to say, it wasn't some one-off quest, was it? You had to keep going back.
Well, no, okay, not that it was. It's just more okay, you'd go, and then the little icon would appear again, and then that Saint Nopon. Okay, so every other one, the Nopon or whoever it is, the person, if they have 3 or 4 different quests, they give them to you all at once. For some reason, in this one little area, they made it to where you had to keep talking to him because he had to give you explanation of why he now needs this, or he now needs you to go kill this monster. And it's just I don't need that. I would have just rather you give me all 5 quests like you do with every other freaking time, and then I can go do them at my leisure. And then if I need to go back to him for one of them or whatever, then cool. But it's just there's, landmarks and stuff to fast travel, which I appreciate, but sometimes it's it's a fairly long distance you're going, and it's this isn't okay, it's fine because you're also grinding on the way there and stuff like that, which you need to do, but it's just...
Well, yeah. I mean, I've noticed not a ton of random enemies don't really attack you that often in this game, at least when I've seen so far.
No, the only ones that do are you'll see them, they have icons on their head.
Yeah. You can tell they're aggressive.
Right, yeah, you can tell they're aggressive, or they, the spiders detect sound or movement or whatever.
Yeah.
So, aside from those, yeah, you won't get attacked most of the time. It's if you want to, but honestly, with this game, you kind of need to. But I like the fact that I've done, I don't know how many, I think I have almost all the side quests done that I've come into contact with. I think I have 2 outstanding, and I don't know how many of them. I think I've done at least 50 or something. I've played I want to say 28 hours, and most of that is side quests, but I'm about halfway through. I'm at Machna Forest.
I have no idea what the story is, but I'm betting that main dude gets that red sword he's been studying.
Well, yeah, I mean, they kind of give it away in the trailers.
I mean, I haven't seen the trailer. I don't know. I didn't watch any of that crap. Like,
well, I mean, if you paid attention to the beginning,
not really.
So you didn't pay attention to the part where Dixon goes and saves him from just being there with all these dead people?
What?
And there's a sword there?
No, I don't think I don't think I saw that.
No, that's at the beginning.
Wasn't that the whole, like, I thought the beginning was like him, the one guy, like the guy who was wielding it in the first place, and like his buddy were fighting the robots, and that one other guy like turned on them.
Well, okay, so there's that, the first initial part with the Bionis, right? And
yeah.
the Mechanis fighting, and then
the guy, I think Shulk, like, touched the sword and got some weird trippy vision, and that was about it. That's where I am.
Okay, it might happen in that area then, but it does happen fairly early, where you find out, like, that Shulk kind of has a connection to the Monado.
You don't say. So it's an RPG, huh?
Yeah.
There's an old RPG called Vi that had a similar kind of, like, storyline, in a sense. Like, the prince magically could wield this armor that no one else could wield in the land before.
Well, I mean, at least he's not the only one that can wield it, though, so...
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I want to say that's, like, at the halfway point when you get there, because it starts ramping up after you get to that area. I just met, like, people that have actually played the game before. I just met Melia and got to use her for the first time, and I'm about to go meet to the Nopon village where you get the Nopon character that travels with you, Ricky. And
I'm curious to see. I think we talked about it last time, but I want to see that one character, Melia.
Yeah, that's her, Melia. Yeah.
Yeah, just because I like Jenna Coleman, so I can definitely. I saw I watched a video of like the old dub or like the old version, and you can definitely tell it's her.
Oh yeah, I will say the voice acting is pretty great in the game. I mean, I know the saying the same things over and over.
Well,
gets annoying, but
I've seen. There are games where like they have an actress or have certain actors in the role, and then like they get bigger, like later on in their career, and then like when they go back to like make a sequel or go back to it, like they replace them because they can't get them, obviously.
Right.
So I will give her credit, like she reprised the role, I guess, in that epilogue of the new stuff. So
I mean, well, what is she really doing other than like British show stuff?
Victoria, like one of the most popular British shows going on right now.
Well, that's what I'm saying though, like in Britain, but not like we're not talking about she's making like, the Avengers or something. I mean, so.
Although, ironically, she was in Captain America.
Yeah, it's true. I think that's nice. I mean, like you said, she could have just said, "Oh well, I did Doctor Who." I'm.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like she got on the notice for that, really. And so yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that she's like a superstar now, but like, yeah,
yeah. But I don't know if they really had to redo the voice work though.
I think she did more. Well, according to Wikipedia, it said she did voice work for that epilogue. So.
Oh, the epilogue. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
She is her and Shulk are the main characters for that epilogue.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. I bought a cap. Yeah. I bought a cap. It's funny. I like Metroidvania games quite a bit. I bought a copy of Super Castlevania IV for the SNES, and that game sucks ass.
Didn't you know that already, though?
Kinda. I mean, I wanted to give it like an honest shot. The copy I bought didn't work right, or like it was like a cheap. It was a real copy, but like I think Majesco made it like fairly late in the SNES life cycle. So like the label was kind of crappy, and like there were like you can tell it wasn't like a regular SNES game. Like it didn't work at all. I had to like clean it with Q-tips and alcohol, and that even it was like dicey. And then I played like the first level, and I beat it, and I'm like, yeah, this still sucks.
Well, there you go. I hope you didn't have to pay too much for that.
I paid $35 and I got a refund.
Oh, okay, you got a refund. Okay, that's good.
That game actually goes for quite a bit. Like I was honest, like 35 is on the cheap end actually. That game goes for like 40 or 50. Usually, or like in good condition.
Well, I'm glad. So, how'd you get somebody to give you a refund?
Because it didn't like I said, I tried it 20 times, and even after I cleaned it off, like it still barely worked. Like I don't, I should have to like try a Super Nintendo game 8 times for it to actually boot up.
Oh no, definitely not. Yeah.
That's and true. I have 2 Super Nintendos like that, a Super Nintendo and a Super Analog like that Super NT, and neither one of them like the Super Nintendo never booted it, and the Analog was the one that like eventually got it to work, but after like 20 times, and I'm like, screw this. Like,
yeah, shouldn't have to work that hard to get an old game to work like that.
Right. And then I bought a copy of Mario. I haven't tried it yet, but Mario World for the Japanese copy for SNES.
Nice.
Oh, and I bought
anything different?
No, I think it's like easier to glitch certain things. So it's like the first version, so they're like slight version changes, so like certain stuff, but nothing really. I did buy a game that you would like on the GBA. Final Fantasy Tactics.
Oh, nice. The Tactics Advance or whatever?
Yeah, that's the one. It was $8, so I was like, screw it.
Hey, that game's actually, both of those games are pretty good.
Yeah.
I enjoy them.
I got Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 for the GBA.
Weren't those like actually decent?
Yeah, that's why I actually bought it. Like, they're isometric, so they're kind of weird looking, but they play fine. Or, they look interesting.
It's amazing sometimes, like, you look back at, like, actual, like, the port jobs on some of those games for the GBA were pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
they made the Final Fantasy, the 4 through 6 better.
Yeah.
Which for some reason they couldn't do when they brought them to mobile.
I think they, wanted to, redo the art or something, and it's like, well, why? Like, I mean, I imagine it's by resolution, like, phones have way more resolution than a GBA screen, and they probably can't easily just upscale it. So they're like, well, it's probably easier for us to just redo the art, and then they fucked it all up.
That's nuts. Yeah, but also it's not like Square is so weird with their games. Like they'll either just do these terrible port jobs or actually, act like they care. Yeah. So, and they at least chose to do that, on the GBA.
Yep.
But, yeah, I mean, Xenoblade is pretty much what I played, like I said, to get from, that's pretty much almost all I've done is work, play that game, and, some of the things, we have a baby kitty now who's sleeping on my legs while recording this. And that's been fun. So, she is, getting into she wants to know what everything that's going on, and wants to get into every little nook and cranny of the area. And then you just hear her go, meow, meow. And I mean, she got stuck somewhere. She can't get out. So,
yep.
It's cute.
Well, it's a learning experience.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I had a baby pet. So, I think I had Anaya, as a baby.
Same thing.
Before the last time I had a baby of a dog or cat or whatever. So, it's a fun, experience. Like since we have other cats that are outside that we feed, one of the females had babies, and then all of a sudden this one just shows up with the mom one day. And the mom didn't want her anymore for some reason. And, she started, hissing at her. And I was like, okay, well, we'll just take you then. And, yeah, so we just took her in, and she gets her collar on Thursday. Cause I didn't want, we've had a thing before where we were gonna get another one of the cats had babies, and then we left that cat outside, and then all of a sudden, I guess somebody else got it. So I was like, let's not do that again. And then also, if we do happen to lose her outside or something, and she doesn't want to come back in, this one has a collar, so...
Well, get it microchipped.
Yeah, I don't know. How much does that cost?
It's not that expensive. I mean, it's better than a collar, because a collar can come loose or, break apart or something.
Yeah, I'll have to look into it. I just wanted to to have that just to, let people know, like, hey, this one's not a stray or whatever.
I guess it's about $45.
That's not too bad.
Yeah.
Not too bad. But yeah, so that's been my thing also, just to add on to it. I guess announced today, just going into what we were talking about before, Cops has been canceled at the 30... Actually, it was about to start its 33rd season, and the Paramount Network just canceled it. That and Live PD have also been canceled. It makes sense. They don't really treat the people they arrest that great on that show, and also anything that kind of glorifies the police right now is not.
Can you imagine if G4 was still around? Like, what would they fill their lineup with? Like, 10 times as many episodes of Cheaters?
I don't think they have that many episodes of Cheaters to be able to run the whole...
I know, but like, that was the thing when this was like right when G4 was starting to really fail, like a year or two before they closed down. Like, all they would show was like Cheaters episodes, but the main thing was like Cops episodes, like reruns of Cops over and over. And it's like, who cares? I mean, I think the sad part is I think they actually, like, the reruns did okay.
Yeah,
like,
that's what's funny is, like, they brought, I think Spike got episodes of Cops as well. And they said that those reruns, like, actually did well. And that's why they kept, I think Spike actually wound up getting, like, new episodes of that for a while, too.
Yeah.
And, yeah, they did well enough to, like, keep them going along with, what was that, reality show they had? The bar show?
Oh, Bar Rescue?
Yeah, Bar Rescue. That and Cops were, like, keeping them alive for a while.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's nuts to think about that, like, that was a thing for G4 for a while.
Like, because G4 was 24 hours, I think. And, like, I think this was, like, a decade ago at least, but I think it did, like, I basically, like, reviewed every like, hour of G4, like, every show of G4, and, like, there was, like, at least 5 hours of G4 daily that was Cops reruns. And it's like,
yeah, and
wow.
Then they have, like, X-Men, the cartoon.
No, I don't think they would have done that, because that would have cost money.
Well, they did the anime, like, where they had anime.
Anime's different. But that was not the same thing. Or, no, they actually did run X-Men, you're right. But was it the Fox show? No, it was like the anime X-Men, not the Fox cartoon show.
That's the anime X-Men, okay.
Yeah, I was like, there's no way they had that Fox cartoon show. So, yeah, they had like that, and they had a Wolverine anime and an Iron Man anime, and it's like, wow, who cares?
Yeah, that was the G4 at one time when they had the 1 hour of Attack of the Show and X-Play, and that was the only gaming thing they had for... It was so funny because, like, man, G4 used to be so awesome. They made shows that, like you know what? I would have never thought about watching this, but,
Well, they also, the two funny things is they also had that Campus PD show.
Oh, yeah,
like,
Campus PD, yeah.
It's like, this is like cops who can't become cops. What the hell's going on here?
Cops at college, yeah.
Yeah. And they also had, like, the show I used to actually like on G4 is that Ninja Warrior. But that was like the Asian version. Like the good one.
Yeah, before Ninja Warrior became, like, now it's American Ninja Warrior and you have it on, on ABC?
NBC.
NBC, yeah, so, it's crazy to think that it started there. And then, they actually had, the first, like, competitive, like, gaming show, that like, arena show or whatever.
Yeah, with,
like, before people really, with Wheaton, before they even thought, like, people thought that was something that people wanted to watch. They had it on there.
Yep.
I think that was one of the first ones that got canceled.
Yeah, that was like 2005. I'm looking at their broadcast history. That was like 2005 or so.
Yeah, when G4 was like, you thought, oh wow, this is going to be awesome. And then, nope, just slowly the video game shows started going away, and...
It's like around 2006 is looks like we're really flatlined. Like, that's when Cops got on the air.
Yep, it just...
And they started rerunning episodes of The Man Show. And I was like, oh yeah, this is...
Oh
cool.
God, yes, I remember that. I was like, what in the world is this? I was like, well, I guess I'll just tune into Attack of the Show while that's still, I guess, going on.
I mean, I disliked that and X-Play, but at least they were somewhat gaming related.
Well, I liked Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb, so, he wound up, doing something not in the industry, but, I mean, I don't blame him. He said he got a lot of shit, while he did those shows. So, yeah.
That's understandable.
I mean, that's before, social media, so that's what, I think he said that several times. He's like, now people wonder why I don't do gaming stuff, because imagine if you had the access to me that you do right now, the shit I would have had to deal with.
Yeah.
No way. I don't envy the people that have to do this every day. It's ridiculous. So, yep. So enough with the trips down memory lane here. So, yeah, going into, I guess, the things that, we should be talking about. As I mentioned, several things, got delayed due to, everything that's been going on, the protests and all that stuff. So we should have been almost talking about an EA Play event, a PlayStation event, a Steam Game Festival, the Cyberpunk event. All those things have gotten delayed, and they've gotten announced again for the EA and Sony thing are on the same day now, June 18th. Or I think EA might have pushed it.
Sony's tomorrow.
I thought their thing was the 18th. Is it
no,
tomorrow?
It was the 4th. It got delayed till the 11th, which is tomorrow.
Oh, geez. Okay, that's my bad then. Well.
I think it's premiering at 1 p.m. in PST or something, because it's 8 a.m. over there.
Well, that's gonna be yeah. So depending, I guess, on. I swear, I thought they delayed it. I thought it was Thursday.
No,
this Thursday.
They literally tweeted 2 days ago. See you Thursday, June 11th at 1 p.m. Pacific.
Wow. Okay.
9 p.m. BST, which I guess is
my bad.
Japanese time zone.
Yep, that's why I kept seeing. I was like, why is everything saying? Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll talk about, I guess, what we think. We kind of did this last time. What we thought they would show, I guess, games wise, but I guess we can talk about some other things there. And then, yeah, maybe what EA might show or whatever. They're the only two, I guess, major. And I guess, one thing we know we're definitely going to, or possibly might be seeing is there was all of a sudden the lineup for PC Gaming Show got announced. And I think one of the major things that got pulled out of it was that all of a sudden Atlas was going to be there. And you're going, okay, well, Sega's been doing things with Yakuza on PC, and they have other games for PC, and Atlas I think they published Rock of Ages. So everybody was like, this won't be something major, and then all of a sudden, a leak dropped from Steam DB listing, which showed Persona 4 Golden for PC is not only going to be announced on the June 13th PC Gaming Show, but also going to be released that day immediately. So that's pretty cool. That people have been kind of yeah.
Depending on the price, I'll probably pick it up. You said you probably will too. I had that game in Vita. I never played it, so I'll be curious to see what they do for was that not the full game, or didn't they kind of compress it a little? Or am I thinking of Persona 3 Portable?
No, that might have been Persona 3 Portable. Persona 4 Golden was the game, but very much kind of like Royal, where they added in a different character.
Yeah, I know that, but didn't they was it not quite the full thing? I know the story and the battle system were the same, but I'm not sure if they could direct 1-to-1 of the original game or not. I mean, it probably is, or at least this.
I think even some things of the battle system got changed. Oh no, that was 3. All right, 3 got the battle system changed. 3 had a really weird battle system, at least initially. Yeah, and then they changed. Then Portable adjusted that to more like 4 and 5.
Yeah, I think even Fez, they fixed that because people were like, we want to control these characters, not just have dumb
Oh
AI
yeah,
do
you
it.
can't. Yeah, exactly. You couldn't control what the other characters did. They were AI.
Yeah. That was that was bad.
Yes, very bad. Very, very, very bad. So, and people are still waiting for that Persona 3, I guess, remaster.
Sure.
I don't know if we're gonna get that, but there's a rumor that might show up eventually as well.
Like, I guess my question about Persona 4 Golden though is like, how do you think they'll handle the emulation? Like, do you think I doubt they have like 1080p resolution. I mean, that in the Vita screen was like 600, if that.
Well, I mean, they had to do some work on it to get it to work on a PC, so I'd imagine that they understand that. I assume at least it has to be up to 1080. If they could do it with those PS2 remasters, Sony could. So why couldn't you do it with the Vita?
Yeah, I just remember I took PSP footage and like blew it up on a computer, and it's like, oh, this looks gnarly. Like this looks weird.
Well,
Type O,
Square Enix did okay with Type O.
Yeah, but they put in a lot of time and effort into it. Like this, they remade the game essentially.
I mean, it didn't look like.
It didn't look like a PS4 game, but it didn't look like a Vita game either. I mean, they're not going to put in the effort to do that with this thing. It'll probably just be some PSP.
Well, you never know how long they've been working on that. We don't know. If
they put in a lot of time and effort, it wouldn't be called Persona 4 Golden. Or, it'd be called Persona 4 Complete, or to give us some other goofy title.
Oh, wasn't Type O, was Type O what, like, remastered? I don't know.
That was Type O, because it never, it had some other name in Japanese. Because remember, it never came out in America, so.
Yeah, but I mean, we don't know. Like, it could just be, it got listed that way, and they're gonna rename it on the show or something. I don't know.
It was I think it was called the Type O HD edition, or
something like that. Yeah, exactly. But
I mean, I'll get it, or I'll be really interested in it. Let's say that.
I mean, I'll be happy that you can play it on something that's not a PS3.
You take that?
It's Vita. The PS3 and the Vita.
Yeah.
This is the Vita version of the PS2, and then you can play the PS2 Classic on the PS3.
Right. It's not the Golden Edition. This is a regular one.
But it's gonna be nice to not have to have a Vita to play it. I mean,
I think Jens
hope it works fine, because I'm also worried about that. I would hope that you're not blowing something as anticipated as this with a crappy port job. I hope that there was some time put into it.
Just look at Catherine. Look how well that did.
Yeah, but I mean, they actually took the time to put in a different story and all that in there. So. Yeah,
but they didn't take the time to get the multiplayer to work.
After they promised that they would.
I think Jens has a PS TV, the Vita TV thing, just for Persona games.
I thought about getting that when it was cheap, and I was just like, I just don't.
Well, that thing is stupid expensive now.
Yeah,
I mean, those things go for $140 at least, or probably $150 on eBay, which is bananas. I bought one for GameStop had it one day, I think it was a year ago or 2 years ago for $20, and they sold out.
Best Buy had them for $5 at one point.
Yeah, and they sold out instantly. People jumped on it. It's yep.
Well, yeah, because you're probably never gonna see it for that price ever again. Unless somebody just doesn't know.
Yeah, they go to a pawn shop or something, and they're like, "Oh, you bought that 3 years ago. It's $5 now."
Okay, I mean, I should note that Destiny did announce their next expansion, Beyond Light. It's coming September 22nd.
We don't play Destiny, so
neither one of us play Destiny. Yeah. I just felt like we kind of needed to acknowledge that we know it happened.
Yeah.
And the nice thing is that you will be able to, if you bought anything for Destiny 2 on PS4, you can just kind of keep playing it on PS5, and same thing with Xbox One to Series X. So, they're still trying to figure out They're still trying to do the crossplay between Xbox and PlayStation, but they are working on it. So that's nice that that's being worked on. I mean, it's also nice that they acknowledge. They also said that they have stuff for 2021 and 2022, The Witch Queen and Lightfall. So good to see Bungie's.
I don't think if they try to pull like, hey, Destiny 3 is coming to the PS5 and the Xbox One Series X, people would be outraged. So,
well, yeah. Well, not just that. I think Bungie is trying to still make good from the Activision days.
Yeah, for their whole 10-year plan.
Yeah, so I think this is stuff that was in the 10-year plan that they actually want to endorse.
Yeah.
And, just call it Destiny 2 and just keep iterating on it. And that's not bad. It already looks good on PC. You don't have to change that much to it.
It's basically like that Warfront game. Free to play, and you just buy expansions and...
Or Warframe?
Warframe, sorry, not Warfront. Yeah, same thing.
Well, now there's a game called Warface.
God.
So, yeah, they couldn't make it more confusing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I know for the Destiny people, this is a great thing, because that means you're getting more Destiny. I don't know that it's too far gone for me at this point, especially now that you're making it more like an MMO. Than it was before. So.
Did you ever play Destiny? Or
I played Destiny, yeah.
I played it. I got to level, I want to say 13. I've read Destiny 1, and I was like, well, no one I know is playing this. I mean, I already have an MMO I can be playing with no one, which is WoW. And I didn't find the story good. I didn't really like the content that much. And I was like, yeah, I'm kind of done. I mean, I don't care.
Well, me being a person that loves Halo, the shooting was great.
I mean, the shooting was fine. The shooting was, I guess, fine, but it felt very, standard, or it just didn't, it wasn't, fresh or interesting or anything. It was just yep, aim on the left, aim on the sights, and shoot people, and throw grenades, and...
Yeah, it's just none of the stuff that I was doing felt like it mattered.
Yeah.
And that was my problem with it, is just okay, this is fun. I played with Daniel for a little bit. I made a friend that I played with sometimes. And that kind of kept me going, but then...
Yeah.
By the time that first expansion came, I was like, this is too much. And then also, you had to keep playing that game a lot. And I was just like, no, I can't do that. Yeah. So, I mean, great for the Destiny folks. This is cool that you're getting something, and it's going to keep going with PS5 and Series X and PC, so...
Sure.
Y'all keep trucking there. A surprise announcement for me, because when we talked about games that I kind of wanted to see come back or remade or whatever, I didn't say this game because of all the legal issues that it had at one point. And I said, well, I know THQ had the license, but I was like, will EA ever bother with, actually working out a deal with them for this? And then all of a sudden, here comes this leak about Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning that Marc just sends me in a message, I think, the day after we did the last podcast.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, no way. So, then here it is, Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning, because, the Embracer group has to have weird-ass names when they do remasters.
It's because that Red Faction game with remastered wasn't stupid enough.
Or Definitive Edition.
Yeah.
For the...
Yeah, for the... what is it? Yeah.
Darksiders 2?
Yeah, the Death one.
Or what is it? The War Mastered? The War something? For number 1?
Yeah.
It's okay, you guys, you don't have to make puns out of everything.
Yeah, it's War Mastered. It's you idiots. Just stop. Just call
Just Darksiders Remastered. It's okay. It's fine.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's coming August 18th. And of course, if you don't remember, the stuff with this game, it came out in 2012 for 360, PlayStation 3, and PC. It was, for me, it was one of the first times that I really cared about, a Western RPG.
Really?
And
Really?
I didn't care about Western RPGs that much.
I felt like the opposite. I didn't finish that game. I don't even think I got that far. I got 10 hours in. I'm just this is like very slow. And I'm like, this is kind of just boring the hell out of me. I thought it was an interesting hook that like your character was like the first like reborn person, or like he was a zombie or something weird, like, or he had like no fate or something, or that's kind of cool. But like it just moved like glacially slow, I thought, and like all the like it's kind of the same thing as like Xenoblade. It's like all these like stupid side quests are just like, if you want to do it, fine, but like it's just kind of slowing the main story down.
Yeah, like I think with Xenoblade, you don't necessarily have to do all those side quests. I mean, they're distracting, right? Because you constantly meet someone that has a quest for you or whatever. But the farther you get in that game, they kind of don't.
Well, I think like doesn't that game Reckoning have like side quests and then also like tasks, and like tasks are the really superfluous thing. Like you really don't have to do those.
Yeah, but you also have like a class, right? So like,
no, that's the whole thing. Like you can go. You don't have to like you can do whatever you want really, or you can kind of respect. I think you like talk to someone, but like you can become like a fighter or a mage or a thief or a jack of all trades guy, like pretty much any time.
Yeah, but they also had like guilds as well. You could go and be in and so all that stuff. Yeah.
I guess let me ask you this: since you say like that was like a Western RPG that you really got into, did you not play Oblivion or Morrowind?
No.
Okay, that's why.
Yeah, that's not like Morrowind and Oblivion. I didn't play those, so
yeah, then that makes
like,
perfect sense. Then,
I also played the demo, and I kind of got into that, and then I actually got the game. And
well, I mean, don't get me. I'm not like trashing Reckoning. Like it has really good combat, and I mean,
that's what I liked about it was the combat. Yeah,
like I think Morrowind is hard to go back to now because of the controls, but like. That was like a Western RPG that I got into.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really get into aside from Witcher. I didn't really get into many other ones. Yeah, but like that was one. I also like R.A. Salvatore. Okay. So that probably did something for me then too, because I was reading his books at the time.
You don't like Todd McFarlane, man? Come on.
I like Spawn. It's just not.
He should have been the main bad guy.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, you put him in Mortal Kombat, might as well, right? Well, and you had the Oblivion lead designer in there too, Ken Rolston. Yeah. So, I mean, they had a pretty nice like group of people making this game, and it's just this game was marred with controversy with 38 Studios and Kurt Schilling and all the stuff about owing Rhode Island money and everything else. So. It's nice to see that it's finally come out. It's going to go a collector's edition as well with a statue, an Amalur keychain, and the soundtrack was also great. I really like that soundtrack. So you can hear that soundtrack again when the game comes out August 18th. Lots of things with 18. That's probably what might have got me confused with the PlayStation event. So hopefully by the time you're listening, our stuff won't be super old where the PlayStation event happened and we're just, so I guess I'm assuming very heavily that there will be a Horizon Zero Dawn 2 announced at that show. So we're probably going to do we'll probably have to wind up doing a show on Thursday night, not wait till the Friday, because I imagine there's going to be some things announced there. I think that they made people wait so long, they're going to have some kind of bomb to drop. And the fact that they're really pushing for, we want this to happen like now. I feel like if they didn't have anything important to really tell us, they wouldn't care about delaying it longer. But I feel like the fact that they did not want people to wait much longer, they have something they really want to show before it gets any closer to whatever Microsoft's showing in July. It's also, they still want it to be around that E3 time, I guess, as well. But yeah, so also a lot of this stuff is kind of from before, from the time period of when we would have done a show last time. All these things got delayed that I talked about earlier. Even including the World of Warcraft expansion live stream, because, there's no BlizzCon. So, I don't know, were you excited about this expansion at all, or?
No.
Yeah. You didn't want to go to the Shadowlands?
Well, it's just like the Death Realm, and it's like, I go there often enough when I die. Like, what's the point,
I mean, isn't that something people have wanted to...
No, that's like the weird thing. This kind of came out of nowhere, I think. They just keep kind of bolting landmasses onto that thing, and it's like they could do like, I don't know. I just want more like creativity, I would say, and it feels like certain professions and stuff like that are just like completely fallen by the wayside, and are just like such like legacy things that they're barely even talked about anymore, or not even. Like, hey, I'm sure fishing will get another 75 points in skill, or archaeology, there'll be like one new like fossil grouping, but it's like, okay, like it's still the same shit you've been doing for the past decade. Like,
oh, well, that's sad to hear.
Plus, like the game has just gotten incredibly kind of greedy over the past like 3 years. Like, just like buy the mounts in the pet store. It's like, no. This stuff should be kind of free, or I'm paying you money ostensibly to play this game. Like, well, I should pay more? Like, say what you want about like Call of Duty, but like, you don't pay for Call of Duty. You just pay to like game online, period. That's included. Call of Duty's included. You have to pay to play WoW. And then it's like, hey, pay $25 more to get this stupid pig mount. It's like, no thank you. I'm waiting for them to like introduce like loot boxes. That'll be the ultimate insult.
Oh, I wouldn't put it past them at this point.
Well, they kind of
everybody's going to revolt.
They kind of do with like gear boxes, like, weekly gear treasure chests or whatever, but it's not like, you don't get like a mount in that. You just get like new gear. I mean, so it's slightly different, but yeah, I'll be the one reviewing that one come 6 months whenever it gets released.
Well, you'll be able to...
Well, I think like the biggest, like the interesting thing is like they're doing like a massive leveling downshift. Like, I'm like I'm 120 and they're going like, oh, the mags are not going to be level 60. It's like, okay.
So what is the point of that? Like, what are they trying to accomplish with?
Like, the numbers got too high. Like, they've already done like 2 or 3 stat squishes as it is. So it's just a way of like rebalance. Like, it's not going to be like, oh, this old level 60 enemy is like now a threat. But it's just a way for them to like massively like level the playing field kind of for players, and a way for them to like introduce new expansions later on. It's like, hey, now you can be level 670. It's like, what? Like, I wasn't Outland 14 years ago? Like, thanks, I guess.
Yeah.
I have thoughts on this topic.
I just, it's weird. Like, when I saw that, I was like, why are you gonna go backwards in level instead of... And I don't understand
because it's like, if you do content now, this is asked for like at least 1 or 2 level squishes as like stat squishes as it is. Like, I'm amazed. I throw like a fire blast at someone and I deal like 1 million damage or something. It's like, that's already kind of crazy. And like before you're doing like 10 million damage, like a pyro blast, and it's like, wow. Like, so the numbers just got like way too insane.
Oh, where like, okay, it kind of like took you out of it.
Well, it just made it
wise.
Well, kind of, yeah. And then like it got like progressively harder, I think, for them to like create gear that like wasn't gonna make the game even more broken.
Okay, that makes sense then, yeah.
Yeah.
But man, that seems like really far to lower that level cap. Like,
yep.
Aren't people going to get to that level like supremely fast? I mean, like...
Well, no, because like I have like that 120 character. He's just going to be squished down to 60. He's not going to like re-roll from 1. It's just everyone's going to be bumped down to 60 again.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, and I think like the more interesting thing is like if you're a new player, like I think it'll be really quick for you.
Oh, to get to 60, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, not gonna play that probably, but yeah.
What, man? You don't want to join my guild?
No, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. I can't even bring myself to play Final Fantasy 14. So, and I really care about that series. Like, wow, not so much.
You don't care about Arthas?
Like you know what's funny is like when I did play a while for a little bit. Like, I got really into, like, watching, like, lore videos for Warcraft for some reason.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, stopped playing.
Well, like, the lore in WoW is just so screwed up because they just have to making Jaina Proudmoore a good character, then a bad character, and then a good character, and now she's a raid boss, and it's like, wow, like, you guys are all over the map with some of these characters, aren't you?
I mean, I guess eventually they just run out of things to do, as they've been doing this for so long.
Yeah, and they try to introduce new characters, no one cares about that. So, it's like, I guess we'll bring back Jaina and Sylvanas again. I mean, I think she's, like, Sylvanas is, like, one of the Horde people, and she's like the big bad guy of this expansion and the next one, I think.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Well, Dead Island 2 build leaked online.
Yeah, did you watch the video?
No, I didn't. I didn't even know that happened until I saw this thing.
Okay, yeah, I watched the video. I think it might have been Xbox One, or maybe even a 360. I'm not quite sure. It's unfinished. I mean, you can tell like it's just not quite. Like, collision isn't great, but it looked like Dead Island. I mean, that's kind of the funny thing.
Well, I mean, wasn't that the point?
Well, I mean, yeah, but apparently not for who owns the company or who owns the property.
Yeah, it's weird because it felt like it was kind of on course, and all of a sudden you got that report about, oh, we're switching to another developer, and then it's like,
and then it happened again. Because I think it went from Jaeger. This is the Jaeger build. It went from like Jaeger to like another studio.
No, this is a month before Jaeger.
Oh, this is the first one then.
I don't know. Actually, no, you're right. This is from the Jaeger development.
Yeah.
But it was like, it's just like, okay, you kind of got this going, and then what did you want it to be? Just Dead Island 2, like. Make more Dead Island at that point.
Yeah. So. It's like, even the trailer they shut off like 6 years ago at this point looks like more Dead Island. And now they're on their third development studio, nary information in sight. And it's like, why? Like, is this becoming like another Duke Nukem Forever? Like, you're just going to keep shifting this game over and over? Like,
yep.
Like I said, it's a race between this game and that, Dying Light 2, about which is actually going to come out first now.
It's true, but I'd still put my money on Dying Light 2.
I mean, so would I, but it's like, it's just kind of insane. Like, both these games have such like severe problems going into their second game. It's not like, oh, this is our 7th iteration, like we ran out of ideas or something like that. It's like, no, this is your second one, and you both fucked up. Like,
yeah, that's...
Yeah, this looks like either a Xbox One build or maybe even a 360 build, because it uses like Xbox button prompts. Yeah. But it could be PC. I mean, you could just hook up a 360 controller.
That's true.
Xbox controller. If that was the case, I'd be downloading it.
It's probably an Xbox build, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird because it's like maybe Dying Light's going through that same problem where they're trying to do a little bit too much of making it something else. Instead of just saying, okay, just give us more Dying Light with some new things, and not getting it. But also, I should have mentioned this when we were talking about the Kingdoms of Amalur, is that EA put games on Steam again. Didn't they put games on Steam, then took them off, and I guess now they're putting them back on again?
No, they put games on, like, they took their games off Steam, and they put on, like, 1 or 2 games every so often. And they didn't take them off. They just kind of kept, put like a few, like they had like Crysis 2 on there and then took it off and then they put Crysis 2 back on there.
Well, so like they put like Dragon Age 2, Crysis 3, Unravel, Mirror's Edge Catalyst, and Need for Speed Heat. Those are kind of there at discounts. Also, like Dragon Age Inquisition is there at a discount too. But then, of course, it kind of makes sense, but kind of not, because Kingdom of Amalur Reckoning, the original, at one point you could buy that game for like $5.
Yeah.
And you can also still play it through Xbox 360, like backwards compatibility, which I have it that way. And, and then of course, I don't get this either. Like, if you're buying the remastered collection, aren't you buying it because you're getting the remaster part? Like, you don't need to all of a sudden make Command and Conquer the original games full price just to make people not.
Well, Command and Conquer Remastered, I mean, they put a lot of work into that one at least. Or it's not, it doesn't look like a fresh new game, but, it looks about as good enough as it's going to.
Yeah.
It's funny. I actually did buy one of these games, and it's the game I don't like. I don't know why I keep fucking buying it, because I'm a dumbass. I bought Burnout Paradise Remastered.
Yeah, you bought Burnout Paradise Remastered.
Well, it's $5.
Oh, okay.
I think the reason, I don't like the way that game is designed to begin with.
Yeah.
I like the idea of the open city. I just don't like the design of the city itself. But the two things that I really don't like about that game is, one, the DJ. He's atrocious. And he's the same guy who did like Burnout 3 and Revenge, but he just sounds like way more obnoxious than Burnout Paradise.
Yeah.
And two, it's that fucking Guns N' Roses or AC/DC song, Paradise City, that's Guns N'
Roses, yeah.
That plays every time you boot the game up and like load from the menu. It's like, all right, please stop this.
Yeah, I'm surprised they got that to play or to like keep going with all the remasters, because that's not cheap.
Yeah,
but hey, you go, EA, if that's what you want to spend your money on.
Well, I mean, it's probably some perpetuity. Like, the game is called Burnout Paradise. They're gonna have Paradise City as. I mean, who cares about the Avril Lavigne track? because I think like one of them is on there. It's like, oh, that's not included. Big goddamn deal. But the song that plays, like, that literally has Paradise City in it. Yeah, they're gonna spend the money to relicense that over and over again.
I guess. And also, like, Konami kind of announced that they are going to be partnering with studios in the West to sort of do what, they kind of want to, like, do their own Square Enix thing where they have their Western studios or have, like, Western titles, and they also have their, like, Japanese games as well. But instead of, like, kind of using, like, buying some studios and making, like, more Western IPs, they're kind of partnering with studios so they can kind of do the publishing, and then developer kind of does the developing. And that's pretty neat, to go from, we're not making games at all, to, oh, now we're partnering with Western developers to help them make more games. That's cool.
No. Because, first of all, Square doesn't particularly like their Western developed games. Like, they're the ones who said, like, Tomb Raider's a failure, and, like, Deus Ex, the third one didn't do well, and, all the other crap.
Just Cause.
I mean, they make
and then they had to give Hitman back to IO because they...
Yeah, well, they kept trying to, like, bleed money, and it's like, Hitman is not a franchise that can really support that. I mean, none of their franchises really are. Like, I don't like Shadows of the Tomb Raider, but like the recent Tomb Raider games, they were all alright, but they're just doing weird shit like blind boxes. It's like, what? Like, who wanted this? Or, who's like chomping at the bit for this? Like, it seemed like they had like, you need to make this amount of money. And like their game none of their games can support that. Even their Final Fantasy games can't support that, aside from 7, and that gets by because of nostalgia. Because look at Final Fantasy 15.
They're actually trying though with 7. Like they're putting the money. I mean, the effort is there to where it's not just nostalgia. It's like you're doing other things with that game. So, and we're gonna see a lot more of it in the next installments. Like,
I mean, yes, but like imagine a world in which like old Final Fantasy VII didn't exist, and it just released if they just called Final Fantasy VII Final Fantasy 16. People might like it, but that game got such a nostalgia boost from people like you and Randy who were like chomping at the bit to play it because of 20-year feelings about it. if it was just a new game, like Final Fantasy 15 was,
well, but
I liked it.
Brandy and I both enjoyed 15 as well.
Yeah,
it's not
but they still consider it a failure because of how long it took, and look at their DLC schedule.
Yeah, but that's more of it sold well initially, and then it had a backlash because of other things, and not to mention the story feels very rushed, and they had to fix it. I mean, they had to fix an entire chapter. I mean, you can't sit there and say it was just it was a perfect game or anything like that. I mean,
no, I'm not, but also you honestly cannot call Final Fantasy VII Remake a standalone game.
Well, it is a standalone. It is a standalone game for the content it has in it, but definitely it ends on a hey, we're definitely trying to get you to know that there's more games coming.
Yeah, but so back to the larger point of Konami, they're not making games. I can't imagine a developer is going to go, hey, we want to make a Castlevania, or we want to make a
no, but that's not what they're doing here.
Yeah, well, they should, because they're not going to.
But maybe that's what it leads to, is if these games. I mean, right now they're releasing an indie game called Skull Attack. I don't know how well that's going to do, but let's say that they, get some bigger names to make some games and they do well. Maybe Konami does say, maybe we'll trust you with a Castlevania. We'll trust you with a Contra, or I don't know about Metal Gear, if that's ever gonna happen, or Silent Hill, but that's if Kojima's not working on that Silent Hills thing. But, I don't know. I mean, there's also rumors Kojima's trying. I mean, those are rumors that he hasn't even acknowledged, but there was crazy rumors going on for a little bit that he was trying to buy Metal Gear from Konami, which I don't think they would do, unless they just don't want to make games for that anymore. But
unless they say you can buy the game, you can buy the franchise, except for the pachinko rights, that's ours.
I could see him doing that, yeah. Yeah, I think this is a neat idea. Let's see how it goes further down the road.
I just view Konami as such a huge bummer, because they were responsible for some of the greatest gaming franchises, and they pissed it all away for just no reason whatsoever. And it's
well, they don't have a lot of those original creators doing those games anymore, and Kojima was the last, I guess, the straw that broke the camel's back, where they just said, okay, we're not. Okay,
sure. But, examine what you just said, though. If we are such a, bad company to work for, maybe we could change our company culture and hire some of these people back.
Or just take some of these people that know these games, right, that are making games now, and say, okay, well, put a different spin on it doesn't have to be Metal Gear 6. It doesn't have to be, whatever the next iteration of Castlevania would have been, or whatever.
Well, it's they drove away Igarashi, the Castlevania guy. They drew off this Suikoden people.
Silent Hill.
Yeah, and it's
all their big franchises, basically.
Yeah, it's why don't you look at your behavior? And, it's not like these people all, are quitting because there's no Diet Coke in the pop machine. It's maybe it's because you guys are running a shitty company, and maybe change that, and then hire these people back, or, try to ask them, hey, what can we change that will make you want to stay?
Yeah, pride can be a terrible thing sometimes. Again, we're not there. We really don't know exactly why.
Well, I think, I have read before, the Konami CEO was, insane.
That I could totally see. But, I think this is a nice step in a good direction for them, that they are doing this, and that you're making this you're helping make this indie game called Skull Attack. It's going to come out and it's available on PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC, and it's it's nice that exists, and maybe it starts to change for Konami. I don't know.
I
just think that I think known publishers helping other people make games is not. I just don't think that's bad.
Ooh.
That's just
hey, more power to them. I just think they're too entrenched in their pachinko bullshit. So that's really their problem.
Yeah. Well, this week is kind of light on game releases. Next week is kind of where things get back into big deals, with Last of Us Part 2 coming and Disintegration coming out as well. So you get another Samurai Showdown getting put on another system on PC now. Main Assembly, which looks interesting. And the Elder Scrolls Online Greymoor expansion also coming if you're still playing Elder Scrolls Online. So I'm sure you are already got it and are already, excited for that. So, yeah, or you could be getting the Epic Dumpster Bear 2. That's literally a game. It's literally a game. So, that's why I kept saying, I was like, I know Squall Attack's out right now. I kept seeing it, and yeah, it came out at the beginning of the month. It's that game with the skeleton. Okay, that looks decent.
That game I want, Hard Space Shipbreaker is coming out next week, I think, on the 16th. That Steam game. That was really good.
I need to, I'm sorry, I forgot about that. I'll go ask for it. Sorry.
Well, it's like just the early access bill. I mean, it's not fully out, but it looks like they have enough to, make it look good, or it looks like a somewhat complete project already. So, if it doesn't have the story in it, it's like, that's fine, as long as the actual gameplay is good.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah.
Alright, let's talk here for a little bit about, so I don't want to retread what we did last time, just to kind of refresh if you didn't listen to the last show. Basically, the conclusion we came to is, aside from Guerrilla, which, is known for making some PlayStation launch games, most of their other studios just made a game, literally, like Naughty Dog, Last of Us is about to come out, Ghost of Tsushima is about to come out, or just made a game a few years ago. So this is going to be really interesting as to, are they just going to put everything on Horizon and then just show oh yeah, this is coming from all the other studios, or are we going to see some major third-party stuff that, maybe just to, freak everyone out and go, oh my god, this is happening? I don't know.
I think Horizon will be the obvious one. I think they'll probably do, quick patches for, God of War and Spider-Man, visual bump-ups and, loading times and stuff. I think it'll be somewhat indie focused, but then a lot of third-party stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of, what do you think?
I think tomorrow.
What, big third party do you think we could? I know some people are, sitting there wishing a Final Fantasy 16 announcement.
No.
Will happen.
I think possibly a Final Fantasy VII 2, quick trailer. You could see, Vincent or Sid or someone.
Yeah.
Just to show, hey, it's being, or get, the whole, a trailer where, the whole cast is included.
I mean, it's possible they could be working on a 16. Without, the big names that are involved in the 7 remake.
Yeah.
I mean, they could just have a different team working on that.
Well, if that's the case, I'd love it, because, those games should be totally different from one another. That's why I don't really like the Nomura games, because they all kind of play kind of the same, or look the same way.
They all kind of look the same way, but I think,
Didn't he not do 9? He did 7 and 8, and then 10?
Yeah, he didn't do...
And he didn't do, 9 or 12?
Yeah, 9 and 12 don't have anything to do with...
Which are the ones people like. So...
Well, or, people like... 10,
No, I mean sarcastic, but I just mean, it seemed... Well, not... I don't know about 12 necessarily, but, 9 is the one that people always seem to have more of a reverence for, because it looks very different from all the other ones. Or all the recent ones, anyway.
Yeah, possibly. I know we're going to see Godfall, probably,
Great.
because That was announced at the Game Awards. Then we've seen nothing pretty much other than that build that kind of leaked or whatever it was.
How crazy would it be if they just had a splash screen that said Fortnite 2? That would be hysterical.
That people would be going nuts, but yeah, I don't care.
I mean, it would be nice to see. I mean, we'll never get it, but some older Square remasters. That won't happen.
Well, they'll probably show Outriders. Wouldn't be surprised, because they just showed off some video for it recently, and that's another Square thing they're kind of, People Can Fly are pushing it.
Yeah.
Maybe like a new Wipeout remake. Yeah. And that Blue Point remake, which, again, the rumors are flying that that's Demon Souls.
Yeah. Well,
people are wanting it to be Demon Souls.
There's also rumors that, Bloodborne is supposed to come out to PC.
Yeah, but I don't know why you would announce that at a Sony event.
Because they're trying to make
PS5?
PC games.
No.
No, but they're trying to also put PC game or PS4 games onto PC.
Right, but I don't think you've announced that at a PS5 event. This is for PS5 games.
Yeah, but it could help. I don't think they necessarily would, but if they said, hey, Days Gone, Horizon Zero Dawn 1, and Bloodborne are on PC to get you excited for the next versions, which are coming to PS5, sure, why not?
Yeah, I think to me, the biggest surprise would be if there is a Final Fantasy 16, just because, most people are assuming that 7 Remake is, all they got going right now. Oh, man, they're going to do Kingdom Hearts 4. That would be really crazy, I think.
Well, didn't Nomura just, put, there wasn't some Kingdom Hearts bullshit that just put out, a day or two ago about, new characters or something? Really dumb.
Well, he said that, 3 was supposed to be the end of Sora's journey. He never said it was the end of Kingdom Hearts, and people kind of got that. People kind of didn't seem to understand that. And he's always said that, too. He's always said that Kingdom Hearts 3 would be the end of Sora's journey, not the end of Kingdom Hearts.
Look for Kingdom Hearts 4 starring Roxas.
Yeah, but I also think that they're going to still find a way to involve Sora in Kingdom Hearts 4. I think that's, again, that same situation we keep talking about, Locke and the Gohan thing and whatever. You could say that you're not going to involve Sora, but Sora is Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
Kind of, in a way. They want to play as Sora. As much as you also want to play as Riku and Aqua and all that stuff, I think there's going to be a lot of people that are just going to be pissed if you don't play as Sora in some shape or form. Maybe not the whole game, but...
like I said, I made the joke about the Kingdom Hearts TV show last time. If they do make a Kingdom Hearts 4 Sora, I want it to be, pudgy, Haley Joel Osment-looking Sora. Where he has, a 5 o'clock shadow and a scraggly beard. It's yep, this is what I want.
Do you think we'll get anything?
No. I think
Spider-Man or God of War 2?
I think God of War 2
acknowledge that that's happening. Yeah.
I think they acknowledge both. I think you will see a little more God of War 2 stuff, because I think it leaked out that it's supposed to be called he's supposed to be fighting Thor and then the new one.
Yeah.
So that might be interesting. And also the developers not just sitting on their thumbs,
Yeah, and I think doing a Spider-Man 2 wouldn't be, unless Insomniac's now doing a Ratchet and Clank.
I think they'll show Spider-Man 2, but only in not a gameplay trailer. It'll be some
title screen.
No, I think it'll be a trailer, but it'll be him as Spider Cop, or doing kind of a jokey trailer.
Yeah.
And then getting attacked by one of the new foes in the game.
Yeah.
So that could happen. Green Goblin shows up at the end or something.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, I think the obvious thing's tomorrow. They have to show the damn system off.
I don't know. I don't think they're going to show the system.
Well, I think there's some leaked picture of a PS5 looking system.
Yeah. I definitely don't think I don't think we're getting the price.
No.
I think they're holding off on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the price, the system, Microsoft already showed off there. It's what's the terrible thing about showing the system off at this point?
They showed off that other controller they're doing, the black controller.
The black one, yeah.
But also, I like that white one personally.
I like the white one too. Yeah,
I know it'll get dirtier or quicker, but
and what about like something I was kind of looking at, like we really haven't heard anything about that Elden Ring game for a long.
Yeah,
which is the next From Software thing. You were mentioning Bloodborne earlier, so
yeah. I mean, maybe I kind of forgot about it. So,
and that one has George R. R. Martin involved, so
it'll never come out.
Yeah,
or it'd be funny if they show off a trailer for Scalebound. Like we hired because I think Platinum owns.
No, I think Xbox has to actually say okay for that.
Oh,
yeah. I think actually Platinum has said they'd love to work on Scalebound, but Microsoft would have to okay it.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you think that we see anything about backwards compatibility again? Like maybe the wish of, this is going to play PS1, PS2, and PS3 games, or...
I think if that happens, it'll be PS1 and PS2 and PS4. I think PS3 has such a screwed up architecture that's kind of that's just a dream.
Oh no, I agree, but I'm saying
I think they could put like a very small system on a chip of PS1 and PS2 at least. I mean, they already said like PS4, most of the emulation stuff is already working. Yeah. So I don't think it's going to be a complete one, like all PS4 games, but I think it'll be an updated list. Like, what they've done already with Xbox One and all that crap, like, the Xbox One has emulation, but it's not 100%, and it never will be.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I think people are kind of wishing on that one, but hey, they could surprise. You never know. They figure out some way.
Yeah.
To make it work.
Maybe they should, you're right that Microsoft owns Scalebound, like the IP, so they should task Platinum with making a Legend of Dragoon 2.
That'd be awesome if they did that. That would be great. I mean, that's also one of the rumors of it could be something Legend of Dragoon for Blue Point, but...
No.
Well, I think that's more people hoping that it's not Demon's Souls. But
that's like wishing like another Jumpin' Flash game's gonna happen. So good luck with that.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, I'm really excited to see what Sony's gonna show off. I'm not very excited at all about the flame console wars that are gonna be happening all over Twitter and Facebook afterwards, but
I'll be the guy going, no man, the Coleco one is the one to get.
I think it's okay. I think it's, if Sony really knocks out of the park, then you give it to Sony for that. I just don't think it's necessary to be like, alright, this means that, Xbox is dead again and we need to go kill them and we need to go, I was like, dude, just be happy for the fact that you just got to watch a Sony event and it was awesome, and that's it. It's like
especially since that Microsoft event they did, a few weeks ago was not great.
Right, but Microsoft completely told you that this is only third-party stuff. I don't expect any of this third-party stuff to look true next gen. It's not.
It's not a matter of that. None of that shit they showed looked like gameplay.
Well, I agree with that. I'm saying, some
that's. I mean, that's. I don't care if they showed Halo or not. That's immaterial. None of that stuff looked like gameplay at all. Even that Assassin's Creed trailer. It's like what? No. Well,
I mean, I definitely think we're gonna see if we get Horizon. That's the thing that's gonna get gameplay. But I think some of these other games. I think we're talking about games that have been kind of farther in development. I think the bigger thing for me was don't announce Assassin's Creed Valhalla being a thing on your show and then it's nothing. That was what angered me.
If that somehow is at the Sony thing, I want them to do just an actual straight gameplay mission of 5 minutes of someone controlling this dude walking around, him talking to other Vikings, and then getting into some battle.
That'd be hilarious.
They show the same trailer?
No, I don't think they're going to show the same trailer at all. That'd be hilarious if they did that. They actually got Ubisoft to let them have 2 or 3 minutes of somebody walking around just to be we showed gameplay of that or whatever. It's who cares? But seriously, Ubisoft is going to show plenty of gameplay at their event in a month, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, I'm more excited about just getting to finally see what they're gonna show, like, and more about not necessarily because like Horizon being bigger and having co-op is awesome, but I'm kind of more interested of like if they're gonna have any surprises. Like we kind of know we know what God of War is, we know what Spider-Man is, we know what Horizon is now. Like, you know. I do want to see, like, are there any IPs we don't know about? Are there things they were thinking about bringing back that haven't been seen in a while? Like, you know, or just total surprise of like, oh, okay, this is cool. Like, yeah, I want to see something like that. I don't know how much more of the, supposedly, like, you're actually going to be able to take advantage of the audio thing. Like, they said, wear your best headphones because you're going to be able to, I guess, hear some of the 3D audio or whatever, I don't know, while you watch the event. So there's that. But yeah, this is something to really be excited about when it hits tomorrow. And that, you know, it will now, we will hopefully really feel like, okay, this is next gen, or this is what you've been waiting for all this time for Sony to show.
Yeah.
It'll be crazy if, like, we're not talking something good about this Sony event. It'll be kind of just totally unexpected, I think, at that point. But as far as EA goes, we know they're showing Madden 21. We know they're showing their sports games. I don't know. Maybe another Need for Speed.
That UFC game got leaked.
Oh, the UFC game? Okay. Well, that's not totally surprising either. They're doing UFC stuff. I guess Dragon Age would be if they have anything Dragon Age 4 to show.
Or they show off Mass Effect Andromeda DLC.
That's
Or they finally announced their Anthem revamp plans.
You think we might see like maybe the KOTOR remaster, I guess? That's been rumored.
Maybe, but I doubt it. I mean, because you have to wonder who'd be making it.
Aside from that, I don't know. EA is kind of like, there's nothing about them that tells me. I know we'll probably get one of their, like, you know, those indie corner
3
games, yeah, like that they've been showing the last few years.
You think they show not a baseball? You think they show a basketball game?
I hope not, because NBA Live's been terrible.
Like, see, that's always a weird thing. Is like, okay, they've sewn up like Madden or football essentially because we're getting the NFL license. That's fine. I'll give them that one. And I think they make they make FIFA, which is decent football or decent soccer, and they make NHL, which is a decent hockey game. But they keep fucking around with this basketball thing, and it's like, don't. Like,
yeah, like, just let 2K have that. Like,
yeah, like, your games are terrible.
Knock it out of the park.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying, like, the NBA 2K is, like, the greatest, you know, basketball game ever, especially their online bullshit, but it's like, they can make a competent basketball game. You can't. And after you're, like, your fourth or fifth swing at the apple, stop it.
Well, they try too hard to, like, oh, well, we have to, and I get it why they do it. Like, we have to go the other way. Like, we have to, like, make this a bit more arcadey and whatever, and it's like...
But then also, they don't make games that people want, like Skate 4.
Yeah. It's alright.
So it's like, I mean, hey, if they announced a Skate 4, that'd be surprising. I mean...
Yeah. It would be. It'd be nice if they did.
Yeah. But it seems like they just have, like, a real, like, you know, like, hatred of that franchise or something. And it's like, hey, we're gonna make a UFC 4, and it's like their UFC games aren't good, like, at least compared to the old ones.
Yeah. Well,
and it's like
go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I know they signed a big deal with them, but it's like, I mean, stop it! Like, just get out of the deal.
Yep, definitely.
I mean, that's the same thing with like 2K, you know, and the WWE. Like, they put the brakes on that thing.
Yeah. They should learn to do that as well, but they don't.
Yeah.
So. Well, I mean, they have with NBA. They just decided not to have them come out. So, I guess. They just keep trying every year, and then it just never comes out. Or if it does, it's like so under the radar that no one gives a F.
Or they have to, like, release, like, videos like, hey, this is how you dribble in our game. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
okay. I'm just kind of excited that I mean, not that anything is, like, mind-blowing that's being shown today in the first part of the IGN showcase thing or the GameSpot thing. But I am kind of excited that we're like finally getting into what would have been E3, and by the time we do a show next time, we'll definitely do the show for the PS5 event. But then after that, like finally, I guess the next time we do a show, the next Tuesday, we'll have gotten a lot of these, PC gaming shows, the Guerrilla Collective thing, all that, and like getting to see what everybody's got cooking there and all these showcases. So yeah, kind of exciting time.
Sure.
But all right. Hopefully you enjoyed what you heard here, and if you did, you can always hit subscribe on your platform of choice that you like listening to podcasts on. We're pretty much on everything, and if you like us even more, or you didn't like us and you want to take the time to tell us why not, or why you did, you can go review on any of those same platforms. That's always great as well. That helps us get where we need to be and further up the rankings. And, go check out that w2net.com. And, of course, we'll see you next time.
Later.